And we're going live in now.
That was fast.
Not too bad. Good afternoon. I think pretty much everywhere, except if you're in Hawaii, then maybe it's still morning. Welcome to the Salutio Hour of Power. I'm your host, Al Urach, and with me today, as always, co-host Travis Gear.
Yo.
Here to answer all of your burning website questions. You can go to salutiosoftware.com/power and find a place to ask some questions.
Or watch me.
What is going on? You were just setting it before.
I know, but I didn't. I don't know. It's okay.
Are you troubled with the way it looks?
Well, yeah, like the black thing is going through my face. So I'm trying to.
Well, move the whole day.
I did. I know. It's okay. That's fine too.
Look at that.
Works over there.
It's not going through your face.
It works.
Okay.
I was going to try and keep it. This is good. That was
Keep it balanced.
That was a little aggressive, but it's okay.
I generally am. Salutiosoftware.com/power. You can ask a question. We've got a little form there. You click on the button, say submit your question, and that'll come in. Also, you can just submit questions via the web, the YouTube chat. That works as well. It's been a while.
It has been.
We're here last time.
I think May was our last one. And we're almost into August.
Are you sure? I think did we skip?
I'm pretty sure we skipped June.
Like we had it scheduled and then we canceled it.
Yes, we did.
We didn't have any questions or something.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yes. Well, yes, we did. I inflected the wrong word. I need to be able to see the chat easier. Just bear with me. Keep talk amongst yourselves. I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for the 80s SNL reference.
That was 90s.
90s? Talk amongst yourselves.
I think so. There it is. All right, done.
That wasn't the church lady. Who was that? That was like Mike Myers with the church. Was it church chat? No, it was something chat. Some like.
I'll find it.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk. There we go.
Today we got coffee talk.
We got sparkling water plum talk.
Beach plum, naturally essenced.
Beach plum.
I think every time you refer to my drink and I talk about being naturally essenced, we then rabbit hole on what that means.
I don't know what that means.
It means,
but honestly,
its essence was taken from nature, which is kind of how I imagine like the rapturing. Anyhow, we don't have to go through that.
Today I drink Vino Tinto.
Vino Tinto.
We're done with. I think I'm done with beer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm done with beer. Carbs, and I think it makes me feel funny, and I can't sleep at night. I think, like, sometimes that happens. Like, I might be allergic to some part of the process. Like
wait, so you going keto?
Nah.
Well, you eat a lot more carbs than, like, potatoes than you do in potatoes.
Beer. I've liked beer, but, like, and I found beer that I like more, but I don't know. So I just got done, which is why we were gone for a little while. Walking the Camino de Santiago in the north of Spain. Drank a lot of wine. Now, I think I'm just a wino. Just a wine guy. I think that's it. That's what's going to happen. Dry, red wine. Drink of choice.
Dry red. That's my go-to. Merlot.
Yeah, maybe.
Cabernet.
Yes.
Sauvignon.
I'm more of that mix.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
That's a distinguished Kansas way to say that.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah. So if there's one thing I learned is I drink a lot of Spanish wine, very cheap Spanish wine. That's good.
And good?
Yeah, I can handle it. But just there was a lot of people that drank beer. They've got like this Estrella Galicia brand that's everywhere, all over signs, all over the like chairs and patios and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It's like the Budweiser of Spain. It's okay.
Well, Budweiser's just
Also,
okay.
That's fair. But that was kind of like the only beer that they had. And so, I don't know.
That's like the opposite of America, where there's 1,000
microbrews.
microbrews.
It's true.
and you can get.
And a lot of Spain, a lot of Europe. I think obviously they care about their beer a lot, but yeah, in Spain that was about it. So I don't know. It's always on tap, and people drink it all day, and anytime.
The wine, not the beer.
No, the beer for sure.
The beer.
No, probably more the beer than they do the wine.
Oh,
It was almost like a breakfast beer. It was like people come in, they have the tap, they got the like little tiny, like probably 8-ounce pour right out of the draft the deal, and yeah, there was no like stigma around that. It was just like people walk right up because in Spain, which we figured out eventually, is like the bar is also the place you go get coffee. So there is like a breakfast place, or you don't go to the restaurant, you go to the bar. So
for breakfast,
for like coffee stuff.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Yeah, and then they have croissants and stuff like that. So you go to the bar and stay there really late at night, and then like the bars open up again at 7 a.m. For more drinking and cappuccinos. So cafe con leche.
multi-purpose. Cafe con leche.
That's the cappuccinos.
Huh.
I learned the only Spanish I learned was how to order different types of food or drink. So that worked out well, and the bill because I financed the trip. So the pegar, I could do that. So
Pegar. Nice.
So there we are. So I'm wine guy now.
But only the highest quality black box.
Black box is fantastic. No,
it is pretty good.
Yeah, no.
I know, but it's just a red blend. I mean,
well, this one I don't like. I like the Cabernet.
Yeah.
The Cab.
Yeah, that one's better.
Yeah, it says it's got a chocolate aroma.
Yeah, see, it's too sweet.
Essence of ripe blueberry.
No,
it's okay, but black box is good. That's my jam. It's good. We had Salutio Day yesterday.
Oh yeah,
the day of Salutio. You guys were kind enough to move it back. We had shirts kind of like this, but in a different color.
Yeah,
different background.
It was maroon-ish. It was wine colored because we did wine tasting
for Pinball and Pinot.
Which
I thought was a very creative theme. I was not involved in that decision, but it was. I liked it. Went to the arcade in Wichita, America.
Yep.
And played
80s, 90s
and 90s video games.
Pinball machines.
Mm-hmm. I only got one game of pinball in. I don't know. But they're like very advanced pinball machines, like Stranger Things and
so there were the pinball machines were a little bit more. They weren't all vintage, right? Mm-hmm. Like Stranger Things, and there was
I don't know
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
You played?
Oh yeah, I played. I don't know, probably at least 40 minutes on those.
Whoa!
It was the Stranger Things one was. It was really intricate. It was very. Cool.
I don't really get pinball. Huh. I mean, like ball goes in, smack.
It's like a maze. You got to find the right. I mean, there's certain.
Do you have that much control to like get it to go? I mean, like for me, it's just like trying to slam it as hard as I can to get up one of those tubes, but it's like
I believe you.
It goes up one of the tubes and then it comes down.
No, because like there's certain. If you do things in the right sequence, which you can control based on where you flip that lever and where the ball's at, right? You can determine direction.
Yeah.
So you can try if you do things in the right sequence. Like to get the Demogorgon to show up, you had to knock down 2 of the flippers, and then you shot it up into the Demogorgon release valve, and then he came through, and then a drawbridge went down, and you try to shoot it into his mouth. So like, yeah, there's strategy, and you can control it to some degree. I mean, obviously sometimes it's coming so fast, you just got to react and not let it go through the middle, right?
Interesting.
But no, there's a fair amount of luck.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know because if it bounces into one of the like exit sides, or just shoot straight in the middle, right, and you can't control that. Yeah. Well, I imagine some people would tell you could if you were good enough with the amount of power you hit the button with, and
you think there's like sensitivity on the power of the button?
Yeah, I think so.
Like you can kind of like
you can gentle hit it or you can pound it. Yeah, well. For you probably didn't realize that because you're just
slammy. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
There's a movie like from the 80s. I don't know what it's called, but it's like it might be called like Pinball Master or something. I remember watching it as a kid.
They made a movie about every kind of weird sport thing ever.
Oh, Tom? No way. 1975.
1975.
Yeah, I bet this is it.
About pinballs?
Tommy.
Oh my gosh.
No. This is not it. No.
Huh.
Scratch that.
Don't look that one up.
Well, I don't think it's Pinball Wizard. Maybe that's it.
Sounds like it has the right title.
I just remember watching it as a kid. But yeah, right. They did make a lot of movies. Like, what was the one where he was actually working with a nuclear submarine or whatever? What was that one called?
Weird Science.
No. They make fun of movies like that.
I don't remember. I like Over the Top. I remember like arm wrestling. Didn't know that was
Computer. There it is. I'm going to find it. War Games. Yeah, War Games.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
There you go.
He finds a back door into a military central computer in which reality is confused with gameplay, possibly starting World War III. He thinks it's a video game, but he's actually arming nuclear missiles to shoot at the Ruskies.
The Ruskies. Oh, the good old Ruskies. When we knew who the bad guy was, we could just...
Easy, that could get into...
No, I mean, like, in the 80s, it was clear. Growing up,
yeah,
it's like
right.
you knew... I'm not saying good, bad now. I'm just like, back then.
Right.
You had clarity. Had
Oh, no.
black and white. What?
Some of our team members are watching and making quotes. Demogorgon release valve. Yes, Sarah. That is a technical term for it.
So went and played pinball. Went to B&C Creations. Big shout out to them. Whew, tasty. Love the barbecue there. B&C Creations.
Yeah.
If you're ever in town, need some Wichita version of barbecue.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
amazing.
It's it. Buffet. There's a lot. Even the salads were good. That's how good it was. Even the salads were good.
They were also huge. The salads were massive.
I am a turkey guy at the barbecue
Oh,
place.
really?
Yeah.
Is that new
Brisket
too?
and turkey. What do you mean, turkey?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean, like new for Wichita or new?
No,
at
new
BNC?
for you. Like,
Oh,
you're no longer a beer guy.
every time I usually go out to do trainings and stuff, I gravitate towards barbecue.
Okay.
And then, yeah, probably about a year ago, I decided I could stop being ashamed of liking turkey, and I could just own it. It's okay. It's barbecue too. I mean, it's,
No, I agree.
Once I realized it's at every barbecue joint.
Shouldn't
Like,
have
it's
been
not.
ashamed
It's
to-
not a
you shouldn't have been ashamed
fringe.
to begin with.
It's not a fringe barbecue thing. Like it is a barbecue. Like it's
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
now I go for the big bird. You know what I'm saying?
The big bird.
That's where I go. So brisket and big bird.
Yeah, I had the ribs were good, pulled pork and brisket. Ribs were really good.
You had the sticky ones?
No, there was a honey glaze.
Right. I think
but
that's what.
I just got the dry rub or original or whatever.
Oh, my dad was asking a question. He's like, that Travis, he can eat that because he's going into keto, so he's like trying to figure out like what. But he has a date. He's going to start
August 2nd.
after a certain wedding that goes on, and it's like, yeah, then he's going to start. So he was like, Travis can eat all that barbecue. I didn't think he could eat that barbecue. So I think if he doesn't,
Yeah,
go
as long as
nuts
you
on
don't have the sauce. Yeah, right.
This is the sauce. It is barbecue.
Yeah, I had a little on the pulled pork.
I told him you cheat a little bit.
Well, because if you have I mean, it's just so much sugar. The sauce is like so sugary.
I know.
So
that,
you know,
I can't do the pulled pork. I feel like there's too much cheating in pulled items, like pulled chicken, pulled pork. You can't see it enough, so they cheat. There's a lot more fat or like cartilage or like there's unknowns in there.
well, the fat gives it flavor, huh?
It does, but like just like kind of sneaking in too much of the other stuff.
There wasn't any cartilage in there. that I
Probably
had.
not. Probably at a quality joint.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can trust the joint and you've been there before and you know the experience, then probably you're in good shape. But if it's kind of like a little sketch and they're trying to get by with less,
But like rib crib.
I don't know. I'm not going to name names, Travis, but yeah, I feel like you can get cheated with the brisket. Like, dude, it's right there. You know what's
Right.
happening. It's more pure. You can sneak a lot of stuff into pulled pork and pulled chicken, I feel like. So it's just where I'm at, man.
I haven't thought
I've
about it.
eaten a lot of barbecue. I
haven't thought about it that much. Yeah, you think about these things a lot more than me.
I do. A lot of different barbecue joints. Yep. So there you go. Food. B&C Creations. And then when we
Grace Hill Winery.
Grace Hill Winery. Drank a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Had some Vino Tinto. It's good.
And that just means red wine, Vino Tinto.
Yeah, Vino and then Tinto. Yeah, I was going to, what's it?
You know what's one thing that's nice that you're not drinking beer is you're not constantly burping.
That's true. Not yet. That's true. No. That's been a problem.
So maybe the hiccups will set on, but I don't think we have to worry about you continuing to bend off to the side burping as in past episodes.
It's true. I got a whole box. So,
yeah, woo!
I don't know. I found this in the fridge. I hope it's ours, right?
Yeah, you just dump wine, though, on the keyboard.
Hey, careful.
So your H may not work anymore. I guess we'll find out.
It's old like me. It's getting a little leaky. Okay, so let's get into some questions, huh?
Well, we've got one.
We've got one. That's
and considering this just went out 2 days ago, I'm
boom.
Pretty amazed. Okay, so Father Tim Hickey, priest of the Diocese of Dodge City out there in western Kansas, whose website is westernkansascatholic.com.
Boom. Just get it all right there. I mean, he's way west.
Yeah, he's out by Leota, Wichita County. If I remember correctly.
Leota?
I think it's Leota.
Well, it ends with an I or something.
I know, but I'm pretty sure.
I think they go by Leota.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, which actually I met.
Because I taught in Leota.
I met Garrett Ritter, remember?
Yeah.
I met his uncle.
What?
On the Cape and Walk. Yeah, It was crazy. Anyways, that's a whole different story.
That guy had the biggest car. Big car.
Yeah.
Remember that sucker?
Yeah, we took it on road trips. I don't know.
It's like a Chrysler or something. Just
yeah, I think it was
newer, but just but it was like the last of the boats.
We drove it down. I think we drove down to New Orleans, maybe.
Yeah, you can fit a lot of things in that trunk.
Okay, so good afternoon, Salutios. I added that in. What, in your professional experience, is the average shelf life of a parish or diocesan website? What advances in web technology or design over the past couple of years should we try to integrate into existing sites or be mindful of if we are contemplating an update? Even with adding new content weekly, a parish site can quickly seem stale. And also to give a little more context, Father Hickey was involved with the diocesan redesign of their website for Dodge City as well. So
that's a great question.
Bam.
So, Salutio in general, it's kind of and again, I mean, I think the advice works regardless of what kind of client you are, but knowing just how quickly things move and kind of how the trends work and whatever else, we're pretty much on a 4 to 5 year cycle on redesigning stuff. So for those that work with us with the ad sales component, which is most of our clients, overwhelming majority, our contracts last about that long, and then it creates another opportunity for us to go back and redesign things every 4 to 5 years, or sometimes
3 to 5, somewhere there.
3 to 5. So that's a little bit by design and just our experience. So we've been around for, I guess we determined 15 years now.
16.
16.
What? No, 15.
15, yeah. So long. I mean, I don't know. In this business, it seems like a long time. Like, I don't know. We've been around not quite as long as Facebook, but, in the neighborhood. Before the iPhone.
About as many users as Facebook. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we're going to compare longevity of company, the next natural comparison is users. Well, I think we're a couple thousand less.
We're huge in Romania. We're just everywhere. It's really a lot of traffic comes from there. But, Anyway, so that's just kind of built into the system, just because we know kind of how that is. We don't know what the trends are going to be. We don't know how that's going to change. But many years ago, we kind of determined, hey, we really need. Some of that's from our end, right? Is that in a site like it puts us in a little bit of a difficult situation, if I'm honest. It's like with our ad clients, we have a little bit of a different relationship. We have more of a partnership, I would say.
Kind of symbiotic.
Yeah. So not that we're not partners with other folks we work with, but it's just the fact that our revenue stream comes from the sponsors that sponsor the site. So we need to make darn sure that that site operates well, that it looks good and it's modern, and so it seems like something you'd want to sponsor, and we don't want to let it deteriorate, right?
Well, I also think that like the parishes, they don't have any skin in the game most of the time as far as financially, so it's much easier for them to just like, let's do it, versus like,
no, that's absolutely the point.
Okay.
Right, because parishes that pay for it, it can seem disingenuous for us to come back and say, hey, guess what?
Your site needs a redesign.
Your site needs a redesign. It's going to cost X, Y, Z. Let's do some more business. And so, that can kind of seem disingenuous because we obviously have a payday. There's money exchanged in an interaction like that. Whereas with the ad sales clients, there's no commitment from them as far as like additional monies as a general rule. And so they're totally cool with it. From our perspective, we're like, we need to keep reinvesting. We need to keep. So hopefully that makes sense to the folks that are listening. But it just creates a relationship. We value it those redesigns enough that's kind of what we push for every like 3 to 5 years is to get things redesigned. And redesign can come in the nature of all kinds of things. Sometimes we come across clients that are like, we really kind of like what we have. Well, let's revise a few of the edges, right? So let's look at like what is some of the content that's going on the homepage, which our systems are flexible enough that they can do that at any time. Like you don't have to wait for a redesign; they can happen anytime, anywhere. For like this box, we used to subscribe to Formed, and we had like the Formed video of the week, but now we don't. Now we don't have that service or whatever. Like we can swap the arrangement and pattern and order of things at any time. So that's not really restricted, but a redesign definitely gives you the opportunity to fully evaluate where you're at. So let's go through everything, make sure everything belongs where it does, or if it needs to be pitched, or if we need to add in certain things. So sometimes the redesigns are more subtle. We're updating new pictures and things like that. Certainly, again, those are a lot of those things are things that can be done in the current system, in the certain framework, without having to do a full-on reimagining of what things are going to look like. So those can be done at any time, but the redesign does give you the opportunity to go ahead and evaluate that, right? So there's content, right? There's as far as like the homepage and kind of how that operates and what are the most important things. There's also like just an evaluation. Every time we go through a redesign, we take a look through the content itself. So are there things that need to be updated, placed in, placed out, different programs that have come into being or not? Like it's just a good full evaluation, and that should be done, I think, with regularity. It could be done once a year, but for sure that 3 to 5 cycle is good for that. A lot of times there's updates as far as pictures, just imagery. Again, could be done mid-cycle, but the redesign gives you an opportunity for that to take a look at, this person, they passed away, or these new families, kind of like, how do we integrate, make things fresh and look good? So those are kind of things that can just happen on their own at any time. Like right. The system's flexible enough to do all that. Redesign kind of just puts us in that mindset, and so we do that. Outside of that, things that are more they're still cosmetic, but they're not a little bit deeper as far as the different types of slideshows and different patterns that we can do. We're always kind of just adding on new styles as time goes along. It's kind of fun to see how things change over time. Certainly there was a huge rush, 5-6 years ago. I mean, just a lot of no-brainer redesigns that came around just because you really need to attack mobile a lot more head-on. People thought apps were going to be a thing for a long time, like parish apps. That hasn't really taken off much, just because, that's a high bar for somebody to install your thing or whatever else, or just going to a website's easy. So,
and the responsive design thing 5 or 6 years ago, that was
it really
huge.
Transformed that, because it took right, a subpar experience and made it into a frontline first experience. And so that was a no-brainer. There's nothing right now on the horizon like that mobile thing that was really driving a ton of change. So, again, we don't know when those kinds of things or those big, huge momentum shifts happen, but certainly mobile was huge, and we redesigned everything we had to accommodate for that. And so much so that, like, I think we pay more attention now than we did maybe even a couple of years ago about what are the accommodations and what do the things look like to where it looks good on mobile and on a desktop or on an iPad. Like, not just making sure that it's accessible, but making sure that it looks good. Like, how do we crop pictures? What do we, like, how do we do things automatically? Because that's another kind of part of ours is with all of these tools, the system doesn't change a lot as far as like there's not huge momentum shifts in the back end of where you make the changes. But when we go through and design, we're kind of like automatically accommodating for certain things. And again, the way that things are cropped or looked on mobile and desktop, and try to do so much more of that automatically. Whereas a lot of time, like when we first started out, like it's like, well, you're responsible for this, so it needs to look good on these different types of screens, but you're gonna need things at this dimensions, and it's gonna have to be this perfect, and you're gonna have to think about it all in these different ways. Whereas now we work really hard. Again, you do have different screen sizes. It is not perfect, but we do as much as we can, and I think that helps with the ease of updating, if that makes sense. So that's another, just like.
Well, it's one less thing they have to worry about when they're actually going through and doing the editing.
Right. So the redesign and that just kind of like helps to bring that kind of stuff to the forefront, like trying to make things easy. So that can be another part of why to go forward with something like that. I wouldn't say styles have changed greatly in the last probably 3-4 years.
I feel like more full width images have come. Like
that stuff was already on the horizon. I mean, it was already kind of there. I think my evidence for that comes upon the fact that I think there's a lot of things that we can look at that we designed 3 or 4 years ago that I would still say, hey, that's on the level. Like, it's still pretty good. Like, you're right. There is a lot more full width images, and that comes from the fact that, like, we're looking at it on more tablet-like devices, and we don't need to have huge columns and stuff like that.
Right.
There's one client, I'll leave them unnamed, but like.
Yeah, just leave them unnamed. Leave them.
They had to have huge borders on the sides thing. And I'm like, it looks so 10 years ago. But anyway, so that's okay. It was a client. We did it. We took care of business.
It's good.
Yeah, we did.
Good.
Okay, good.
Here we go.
So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think I need some more wine.
There you go. Yeah, I think, like, obviously, Father Hickey, when you talk about advances in web technology or design over the past couple of years, well, obviously 2020 brought us a lot more emphasis on live streaming and actually just video content in general. So that was new. I mean, now I think it's already been integrated in, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. So in my experience so far, and since, I don't know, not everybody agrees the pandemic's over, but so we'll say in the last 6 months. Some priests that I know, some parishes that I know have said, no, we're stopping live streaming. We want these people back in the church. And others have said, no, we want to keep it. Like, it reaches it reaches a certain segment of our population that we weren't ministering well to. So, like, those are the new struggles, or not struggles, but
that's the new pieces of technology. Those are the new things to, like, pay attention to right now, and how do we integrate those into the website?
Right.
But a lot of those are just content things, so they're not like at the core level something we have to redesign for. They're more about things that we plug in, but they certainly need to be paying attention to right now.
Yep.
Email,
and sometimes those things don't get rethought of until a redesign happens. Right. So that's more coincidental than it is, causal.
Right.
Right. Like, the redesign isn't causing; it's coincidence. That's what makes you think about it.
Well, it's another time to fully evaluate all of those things.
Yep. So, that's an interesting piece, though, because parishes took 5 years jump forward in how they communicated digitally because they had to. So that's how that plays out for you in your particular setting. I think it's kind of the questions to be asking of yourself and your team. And if you ever want to reach out to us and talk that through with us, that's part of what we're here for also.
Another thing that I think to point out is just like, I think right now in history, we're going through a bit of a platform change, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, some of the major players, like there's demographic shifts in all of that. So part of this is like looking at just technology in general. It doesn't have to be like relegated to the website, right? It is a essential piece, and I think it's a piece that's not going to go away. Even though at certain points in our history, I think 10 years ago maybe forecasted the demise of that, but I think I think the pandemic proved it was stronger than ever, just because it is a universal, non-regulated area that people can communicate. Right. Facebook, however, is changing a lot, so much so that I start seeing this in a secular space of like how people are communicating. Well, some people don't like some of their different activism and things they're going to do. So there's certainly that. But like even just from a monetary perspective, the oatmeal. I don't know if you do you subscribe to that?
I don't subscribe to it. But.
So gosh, like a month ago, he puts out a big email blast, and he says, to see so for those who are not familiar, the oatmeal, kind of a little edgy bit of comics. Some of them less, but he focused a lot on the English language and different things, and going into
it's pretty crass.
A lot of dog and cat humor or whatever. Anyway. So very clever guy. I enjoy his comics, most of them. And so he puts out this email that basically said, like, he's kind of a big deal. Like, he would be a major player, and there's a lot of traffic. I mean, he sells merchandise. He's been around for a long time. Well, he put out a thing that basically said, I am trying to reduce my dependency on Facebook. Because normally to get my comics out, I have to go, and basically Facebook has made it to where I can't really get any organic traffic. I have to pay. I have to pay to get these things out. And so I'm like, he's looking at the ROI of how much he's getting in return. And he's like, you know what? If I just change my communication, I think I can get along without them. And so the email said, basically, I'm going to send out my comics first via email. So if you want things, first priority, if you want them right when they come out, just please subscribe to my email newsletter and those around it. And then, and for those maybe that are around you that are interested in my comics, because I'm really going to stop active promotion on Facebook.
Okay.
So that was just kind of a little bellwether, kind of seeing some of that maybe being done, just because Facebook is a real live company now, and they have to make revenue. And so there was other studies I just read about eBay and how they, which book was I reading? It was somewhere on the Camino, but they were talking about how, they're trying to judge the real live return on investment from Google advertising. And so eBay, they're wanting to evaluate that, and I basically had a company challenge them and said, hey, well, I don't know, just don't buy your branded search terms. So ebay.com or eBay. Don't buy that search term. Just let it go. And they found out it's because they spent so many millions of dollars on that keyword to make sure that they were in an ad position. And they found out when they turned it all the way off, they didn't lose any, like it was such a minuscule amount of traffic. People weren't clicking on the ad; they were just clicking on.
Yeah,
and it's actually not even an ad.
Right, there's not even an ad,
which is crazy, right? Because everybody buys their own brand, and so basically they didn't lose any revenue. They didn't have to pay anything out to Google, because even if there was advertisement for eBay, people know enough to just skip over it.
Yeah, right.
So long story short is just a little bit. A little bit of evaluation around. How are you communicating? How are you hitting all these different edges? It is probably right now I would say it probably is the hottest topic. Getting and refining email lists, text numbers, signing on to Flocknote, using these tools, email, website, texting as your main. like digital communication tools, really, I think around email and around website. Those are the universal tools that nobody can regulate, nobody makes you pay for, or if it's email, it's nominal. And button up those edges. The technology piece around live streaming and what your direction you want that to be, and then finally like online giving, which I think certainly brought a lot of importance as people weren't able to go to mass and things like that. And so I'm sure a lot of parishes have already gone down that pathway and fixed up a lot of those things. But I don't know. I guess my point to Father's question is just like right now, it's a good opportunity to look at all of your forms of communication, how those are being used. And there will be time for website. Again, everything goes in a cycle, and there'll be new trends, there'll be new things that we're doing. And that's good. But media creation, taking good pictures, taking good video, I think is more important than ever. Most of these websites are very photocentric that we build nowadays, very reliant on good images. And so getting those replaced, getting those, current.
Yeah, that'd be one thing, just speaking to your current site, Father Hickey, is that on the rotator, having some different images in there, using that to highlight other initiatives. I think that's an area that you could adjust and do differently. Not that those aren't all good. I think some of them do look good, but just looking at here on my screen, yeah, there's ones in there that could be updated and bring a little more pop to the site as well. But I think that's even, I was talking with the parish this morning, Holy Family in Eudora, and they do a great job with that. So they, using that rotator actually really emphasize certain things or bring attention to other things or whatever. But yeah.
Yep. Digital communication has become very, very, very important. So, and there's lots of good examples of what folks are doing, and just because we had to all struggle through that.
It's true.
And we might be being locked back down. I don't know. It's kind of...
No, don't say that now.
I'm worried about that. So there you go. I don't know. That was really long to answer that question.
That's okay. Well, that was the only one we got. So
boom. That lasted.
We filled 40 minutes. Pow.
It's been a while. I got a lot to say. I haven't talked. On a quiet path, only talking to my boys, my three of my four sons for 38 days. So
it's a long time.
A lot of talking. A lot of talking to other people now. A lot of opinions. All right. Well, cool. Unless we have other questions, I maybe check the thing or
I've been watching
or the
nothing there
YouTube daily. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Salute to Our Power. I guess we thank Father Hickey for his specific question.
That's it. Thank you, Father Hickey.
If you've got questions, you can ask them at any time. Go to salutiosoftware.com/power. And we've got all the old shows there and an opportunity to ask questions. And then I think we'll put on there, I don't know, I thought somebody kept it up to date as far as like when the next one is. But we generally send that up via email. I think it's already on the calendar. Do you know, can you tell me the next thingy will be?
I can tell you. Hour of Power. It will be August 24th.
August 24th.
At 2 p.m.
Set your clocks and calendars.
2 p.m. Central Time. Get excited. Here we go.
There you go. So if you have questions, salutiosoftware.com/power. And until then, we'll see you.
All right. Peace out.